Hello and welcome on in. Today we're going to be playing a new game for me called Anvil Saga. I'm just going to take you through the tutorial and the first little bit of gameplay, see how we get on. So first of all, the settings, there's not a lot of different settings. It's a very simple game, but that's what I like. And even though it does say campaign 1, I really didn't play any at all. I was just testing that the game worked. And obviously we're going to start with the tutorial so you guys can see. And it's a cute little game, straight off, like adorable. And you start with this little kind of barn anvil thing. This is the tutorial bit, so this isn't in all the gameplay, but it's just teaching you, how to move the screen around, what to do with the keys, how to zoom in and out, all the basics that you would expect from any kind of game. And it's really, I like a tutorial. A lot of games like you to just learn on your feet, but I'm a girl who's like, give me the option. Give me the option of a tutorial and I'll see what kind of mood I'm in. But yeah, it makes it very simple. Teaches you how to go through all the steps. Little bit of annoying thing I found out there, you have to like finish the instruction before you do what it tells you to, which I think I mess up a couple of times. Like I'm trying to click where it tells me even though I'm not allowed to yet. I don't really get it. But yeah, the basis of this game, as it shows you here in the tutorial, is you are a blacksmith and your job is to process orders for customers coming in. So very simple to a lot of games. There's cooking ones like this, there's loads of other types of games like this, but yeah, this is your job. You get your little order sheets up here at the top. And then it talks you through how you can prioritize them, how you can change them, what to do. And then, yeah, it's very simple. The tutorial really does take you through the absolute basics, but there's nothing wrong with that. It teaches you, like I say, what to do. Here's just a bit about prioritizing. But I really like the setup of the game. I'll be honest, I played the game for a little bit. I've never used the priority system. I presume it becomes a bigger deal later when there's people you really don't want to annoy, because there is a little story to it, which I really like, which we'll get to in a minute. But it's good that it teaches you early on that that's an option. And like I said, I'm a girl who likes a tutorial. So yeah, it's telling you there, prioritize this one and do this one first. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't actually do this one first, so it's quite funny. But it's all very simple to get the guy to do the job. You just have to right click on things. This is your little anvil. He clicks on it, he does the job. He's low skill and he gets more skilled the more he does it. But yeah, pretty self-explanatory in that kind of sense. Then yeah, hopefully you get a happy customer, they walk away with the product, and then you can do the other order, and it teaches you here about ordering ore. But it does pop up in the later game as well. So I would say, although the tutorial was really helpful for me and I really enjoyed it, and you can kind of watch it here, we're going to go through the rest of it. You don't need it necessarily, and you'll see that when we get into the story, because it does tell you a little bit. But I think if you've never played a game like this, or like you haven't watched anyone else play it, then maybe doing the tutorial will just save you. And it literally, I think it took me like 5 minutes to get through the entire tutorial. So it's really not that much of a hassle. This is the merchant store, so you can order stuff if you need to. Obviously everything else is locked in the tutorial, but you can order the little ingot ore, so you can make ingots. And then, like I say, it's just teaching you through. And there you go. I think it is really cute. I really like the gameplay. I like the idea of it. And that little one there is the smelter. So you've kind of got the smelter and the anvil as your main thing. I think as the game progresses, you can upgrade, sort things out, change the game style. But at the moment, you've just got a really basic smith. But I assume as the game progresses, you can upgrade that. Yeah, and the other thing to note is like the customers have these little timer bars over their head, which is how happy or unhappy they are. So you do have to keep an eye on those, because if the customer gets annoyed, they will leave. And that does happen later in the game. Because I was not quick enough. But yeah, so that's just the tutorial really, and then it teaches you that you can upgrade things. So there's a build function in this. You can stylize your little smithy. It's going to take you into it now. So it looks like you can build rooms, you can style how the roofs look, and then later you do find out that you can also like decorate and stuff, which is pretty cool. But it's nice it's got another element to it, so it's kind of got the building as well as the gameplay. But again, a lot of games like this are very similar. Once you complete quests or you do well, you get to upgrade and make yourself look cool. But I just like the little element of it. I like the fact that you've got your little house. yeah, but like I said, there's different roof styles that it gives you in the game, so you can change which way your roof points. You can have a flat roof if you want one, and then it just needs building. Now, the tutorial doesn't finish the building of it, you do that in the actual gameplay, but the idea is there, you can understand how you would do it, and then it shows you how next you can purchase some furniture, so it tells you what you're going to need. So one thing it does tell you later in the game as well is every room type needs different furniture, so you have to be able to do it. The only thing I would say is in the game, they are actually quite expensive for what they are, so you do have to be careful that you've got money going, because yeah, things are pricey. Things are pricey. But yeah, and then it tells you whether you can place it or not. I fought with my chair a little bit, not gonna lie to you all. Don't know why. I was trying to rotate it, so I was using like things I thought would rotate it, but apparently it actually doesn't matter and it just needs to go there. But yeah, I did this a couple of times because I was like, oh, maybe it's Q and E, maybe it's this, maybe it's these buttons. Nothing seemed to work, so hopefully I'll figure it out at some point, but it doesn't seem to matter because they just sit next to the chair. And yeah, apparently Oscar's all happy. That's the tutorial pretty much done, and then you move on to the main story. So the story kind of takes on after the tutorial, which I think is a nice little feature. But yeah, so the guy you were helping in the tutorial set up now has a business, and he's training his son to be his apprentice. And they're at a fair, and that's kind of the story you get. And this is where it's going to introduce you to a few of the characters. So it kind of takes you through it. And again, I think this would just be where the story starts if you didn't do the tutorial. I don't know. I've never played it without the tutorial. But yeah, it's just really cute. So, you know, he's telling him how when him and his wife came, they didn't have a penny to their name. He built the business up, the kid's there. And it is, like, it's really sweet. And it sets you up with this nice little story that you're going to be playing as Arthur, who's the main guy. And that's how he's been raised, to be an apprentice at the forge. And he's an apprentice blacksmith at the moment. And his dad is just so cute in it, because his dad just is so proud of his kid. Like, again, like I said, this is if you're playing without the tutorial, so again, it teaches you how to do stuff with, like, the right click and stuff. So if you have played the tutorial, it's a little bit annoying that it's kind of repeating itself, but I get how it does it, because if you hadn't played the tutorial, you'd have no clue what was going on. So yeah, again, it teaches you have to flip the side to open the shop. So this is the dad, and then people are approaching. So he tells you that this is a merchant with his young daughter Olivia, who's going to be important to the story. And yeah, it's really cute. And then this guy comes on the other side, who's like our arch nemesis. And it just gives you such a cute little vibe. I don't know. Okay, who said blacksmithing should be cute? I get it. And there's probably people going, I want a blacksmithing game. I don't want you to be telling me how cute it is. But I just like that they've given us this little story. It's like a love story, and then there's also like betrayal / enemy / do we trust him or not guy in it. And then, yeah, I just like the idea of it. But as you can see, like, if you're reading the story, basically they're just all talking about being merchants and being blacksmiths and competitiveness. But yeah, this little guy in green is annoying as hell and like tries to steal business from us. But it's just a cute little story, and I love it, and I think it's really, really sweet the way that they've put it together. Of course, you know, right up until like a little minute where I get a little bit like, you know, heartbroken. But yeah, one of the cool things about it that's going to pop up in a minute, I just need to get it to that point. Yeah, so this is the guy being annoying. My daddy's got a business. His shop's just over there. You should definitely take your business elsewhere. Why would you possibly come to these peasants? That's how I feel like his voice is. But I like that the merchant's just like, nah, dude, mate, me and this guy, we've got a bond. We go back for years. Like, you can't mess with me. So he gives the work to us, and it's a brooch. And this is where it gets interesting. So there are choices here that will affect the game further down the line. And I think that's quite cool because it's like an added element of storytelling. So actually you could really screw it up. So here we know that Daddy's got a jewel for the Baron, but we could give it to Olivia, who we're like, you know, thinks kind of cute, but I choose not to because I don't want to annoy the Baron. And I don't know, like at this point I didn't even know if the Baron was going to show up, but I was like, do we really want to give the Baron's jewel away? So I make the decision that I do. He makes an empty brooch, which is a bit lame, but then if Daddy Dearest wanted her to have a beautiful jeweled brooch, he should have brought us a jewel. Like, we're a blacksmith, we're not a jewelsmith, so like, dude. And then, oh, lo and behold, the Baron arrives. Like, that's who that dude is there. So if I'd have used the gem, I don't know what would have happened. And I'm quite curious to kind of play it through a few times, see what happens if you mess with it. But I assume, like, it goes negative and Dad looks like an idiot. So I'm really glad we went through the one we did, because I just think Dad's the cutest guy. Like, he just constantly, like, look at this in a minute. He's like, yes, more or less. My son's helping out a lot. He's even much better than me at some things now. It's just so cute. Like, he's so proud of his kid. And I just think it's a nice little added element to the story. And then the story continues. These guys all have this, like, conversation. And, yeah, it's just, again, taking you through kind of the gameplay, how it works, and what the story is. So, again, a little idiot guy sticks his hand up going, Daddy would have done it better and already. And the Baron, again, comes back to defend our guy. So, like, we're really happy about this. And you get one of these choices again. Do you use the jewel? Do you use a fake jewel? Do you tell the Baron you lost the jewel? And again, I just choose to give the Baron his jewel because I don't want, you know, I don't want Dad getting in trouble. I think I've got a soft spot for Daddy Dearest. It's going to be a problem because, you know, he's not the main character. So we know he's not going to be sticking around for too long. They're all very proud. The Baron gets his ring. Everyone seems really, really happy, and then everyone, like, leaves. And then that's kind of where this little bit of the story, and they head home, so they close the shop, and they head home, and then it's so cute, because little Arthur, who's our main guy, is like, hey, Dad, what about me and Olivia? Do you think, like, we could hang out? And he's like, well, dude, you're a blacksmith, and she's a merchant's daughter, so, like, probably not. But let's be honest, if we make some money, if we're minted, like, Dad would turn a blind eye to the fact that your hands are dirty at the forge every day. So basically, yeah, we need to make some money so we can get the girl, which is a cool little motivation for a story. Like, we're doing it so we can make true love prevail here, guys, and that's just a motivation that I need. Again, probably a lot of people going, excuse me, is this not a Blacksmith game? Why is it cute and why is there a love story? I don't care. It's cute. I love it. I'm here for it. But that was the last fair he attended with his father. The disease hit him hard, but even to his last breath, did his best to transfer his knowledge. Like, dude, we were having a happy love story time, and this game just hits me with the feels. But I love it for that. I love it for that. I think it's really, really cute. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Now we're motivated to make our dad proud, our dead dad proud. We're also trying to get the girl, which means we need to make money. So now we need to have a decent business. And then wham bam, here we are with our own little forge. So we presume this is like Dad's and we've inherited it. Thankfully, we've got some stuff going on. Like, we've got a bed, we've got some furniture. We seem to actually have, like, stuff happening that makes us quite happy. And then we just get into the gameplay. And it's like, it's exactly what you'd expect. So you work your way through. It tells you again how to do it. And it's like, now, start the forge. Do some business. And yeah, it kind of makes sense. You know what you're doing at this point. So, you know, dust off the anvil. And then you start getting the quests. So complete 5 orders is like the first quest. So, yeah. I kind of mess around a little bit at first because I don't see the quest because I'm an idiot. Basically, I just start melting some ore into ingots because I know I'm going to need them. And then I just wait for my orders to pop up. Kind of just while messing around, exploring the menu a little bit, seeing what I can do. I try and order some ore, but it tells me I don't have enough space for the big order. So I just order the little order. Not ideal. And then, yeah, these dudes turn up. We do their orders. I mean, it is exactly what you'd kind of think of the game opening. Complete these 5 quests and we will be happy. Simple enough. You get started really easy. You've got good money in the bank to start with. And then, yeah, like, these guys all rock up. My merchant turns up with more ore. The weather is bad. Oh, yeah, did you see the first guy, by the way? Like, the things that pop up over people's heads is insane. Like, I swear at one point it popped up saying my arse is itching. Like, it's interesting. These guys don't even pay me, right? So these guys I go into debt for, but they're orders, so I complete them. I think you could probably refuse them, because later you can refuse orders. Well, you can refuse orders all the time. But it is a little bit weird. People don't pay me for my orders. Like, I know I'm a village blacksmith, but you think people would always have to pay me. And then suddenly I'm like, oh no, I'm running out of ore. And it teaches me kind of the next thing that you can do. So sooner or later, you're going to realize that buying it from the merchant is not the most efficient way. And you're going to want to build yourself a mine shaft. Because everyone knows that all French and Middle English blacksmiths had access to iron ore in their smithy. Like, it's a well-known fact. It's an interesting element to the game that we are mining ourselves. And then, yeah, so it tells us it's going to take a while. I've skipped that bit for you. The room is now ready. And it tells us we have to choose what type of room we want it to be, and also then put the correct furniture in. So you can see the little red exclamation mark there. That's kind of telling you this room doesn't know what it is and it's not very happy. So it's really easy. You just click it and then you pick the type of room. So there's a living room option, there's a kitchen option, and then there is a mine option. So choose mine. And then it's going to tell you what furniture it wants if you hover over it. So I think it said it wanted a mine entrance, which is there. So you put that in wherever you want it to be. And then it also wanted a crate. So then you just got to find the crates. And then you pop the crate in. And then the room's happy because the exclamation mark's gone away. And then you can start mining. So I send him down after he's completed that lady's order. And then he can mine a bit. And while I'm down there, I start looking at like the menu and what we've got going on, because no one's really explained that yet. But there's an energy one, that's the yellow one. And then there's a satiation one, which obviously later you do figure out as food, but I kind of figured that. And then also these are your skill levels. So even though he's an apprentice and he's been learning from his dad, he's still only a level 1 smithy, which I find a bit weird. Like, I feel like he should have come with some natural skill, just because he's been training since like he was a boy. But apparently the game thought it was okay that he didn't, so there you go. And then also this other thing is you get character traits. They can either be negative or positive, and they just kind of pop into your character at certain moments, from what I can tell. This is the only time I get them during the gameplay, and it comes from mining for the first time, so I don't know whether it's going to happen to other characters when they do something for the first time. But they're the little green that you can see in the bottom left-hand corner. And one of them here tells him that he likes to work the most in the morning. So if you give him jobs in the morning, there's more chance that his jobs will be 50% complete before he even starts it. And then the other one is about strength. So as long as he's 75% happy in like satiation and energy, then he's going to be more efficient. So I then decided, oh, maybe he looks a bit tired. His energy's gone down a little bit. Also, haven't sent him to sleep yet, so I wanted to try it. So he pops into sleep, and again, the lovely narrator pops up and tells us, you know, we need to keep an eye on it. If they make mistakes at the forge, they may damage the workpiece. Gotta make sure basically that you keep sending them to sleep, which does make sense. He wasn't that tired though, because like it was still over 75%, but it was nighttime in the game, so it just made sense. Anyway, woke up, sent him back down to the mine, and I'm gonna be honest, he was in that mine for a while. Look at the daylight. Like, I just sent him to collect as many ores as possible. It does take a while. I'm guessing that's level based, so the harder they work, the more they'll be able to bring up. And then it tells me that we are getting an apprentice. So we have 3 options we get to choose from. This is another one that gets to determine the fate of the game. Now, the first one there, called Theris, it told you they're from Gascony. And I remember that Olivia's dad's from Gascony. And obviously, I'm all about the love story. I am all about him ending up with the love of his life, even if he's not of her social status. So I absolutely was going to choose him the minute I saw him. But the other one, there's a guy that's like a fighter and a trickster. And then another one that's a wrestler. And then you get to pick. So when you click on each one, the cool thing is it pops up with like what that's going to do to you. So whether it's going to make England happy, France happy, bandits happy. Like you see Monty, he annoys everyone, but the bandits are going to like you. And then he likes England, but not France. He likes France, but not England. I mean, as far as I remember, we're in France. So it made sense to me to pick the guy that makes France happy anyway. But like I said, I'm Team Olivia. Like, I want them to work out. So I was always going to pick the apprentice that came from her region, in the hope that she'd be like, oh, you chose an apprentice from my land. I must bestow upon you a favour. I don't know how people spoke in these days in France, but that's what I'm going with. There, yeah, then you've got your apprentice, and then it tells you, like, your apprentice will skill up, and you've got to do the thing. So then we had to get 5 quests done with the lovely Theris as our worker. And it does remind us we don't actually have to just remove the stairs to the cellar. We don't have to kill them. We can just fire our apprentices if we do want to get rid of them. And then this other element pops up in the game, which is a French taxman, who basically they're going to come and claim taxes from our land. We don't seem very happy about it. But they're like, hey, dude, are you paying or what? I didn't want to pick a fight with the French on my first day, so I was like, yeah, sure, have your money. I had it, it's fine. And then Theris, our lovely guy here, just has to complete 5 orders. Now, it takes me a minute to realise that he has to complete the orders on the anvil, because I didn't read the quest properly. So I do this one with Arthur. It doesn't count. I'm like, dude, why didn't that count? And then it kind of clicks in my head that I'm being an idiot and that actually, you know, it doesn't make sense to make Arthur do it, even though he's more skilled. So I was like, dude. The only thing you've got to watch on with all these orders is that we have enough ore the whole time, because obviously all of these orders need ingots, and ingots need to be made all the time, so it just kind of becomes a balancing act between have you run out of ingots, have you run out of ore, like what's going on. So I had Arthur mining the whole time, and then I had kind of Theris going between the two, and it's just kind of going to be your own personal preference on that. And it is a little bit like labor intensive, like these things do take a while. This guy gets annoyed and walks off because I didn't have enough. Couldn't do it quick enough, which I get him, so then I really focus on making the ingots and making sure I've got enough to serve people. And it is a bit of a problem. This is when I give in an order sum. Probably shouldn't have done that because it cost me so much money. But at the same time, it was annoying me that I did not have enough to serve people because all I wanted to do was just get through these 5 orders. So you see here, like, straight away my ore goes up to 21. Like, it's going to be a lot easier to do what I want to do. But he's working his way through, and then as soon as he gets through his 5th order in a second, we get, like, kind of the next bit. So then suddenly he pops up to tell us the next bit of the story. So the English are planning another assault. Lots of towns have already given up their keys, and they seem to have the Flemish support as well. So clearly we're in the middle of a French-English war, so obviously the things we do, like hiring the apprentices, will matter which side of that war we come down on. I also think it'll matter whether we pay our taxes or not. But all Arthur seems to be bothered about is, like, he doesn't want to be in the fight. Like, he doesn't want to be in the fight. Any guys like that with the red exclamation mark, it means you don't have the skills yet to do the job for them, so I learned that. As you can see, like, we skip time a little bit here, because basically all these guys have done in this bit is just work. I contemplate, in fact, I think I do here, build a room for our lovely boy, and there's an option, like, you can build a room with a balcony, which I think is pretty cool. It's just what I give him, because I assume that's going to be Arthur's room in, like, the long story, but I just didn't realize how much money I spent. I'm down to 7 gold now, and they were sharing a bed. Like, it was fine. When one of them was awake, the other one was asleep. So I spent a lot of money that I probably didn't need to spend. It now pops up to give us a little tutorial about feeding people, so you got to make sure that people remain fed. Apparently, it's like the staff will just not feed themselves, so you have to go make them food. Kind of makes sense. So I sent Arthur off to cook for them. Really simple. You've got a kitchen. You click on the stove. He cooks. Like, it didn't tell me that. That's just kind of intuitive in these kind of games. But I also think it's really cute. Another annoying thing is if they come up from the mine and don't make it to the crate, like you can see they're carrying a sack. That will have ore in it, and you need to click on a crate to make them kind of like drop it in the crate. It's a little bit of an annoyance, but I get it, because otherwise what's the point in the crate if it's just going to magically appear there? But yeah, a little bit annoying that sometimes they're just carrying ore around with them. But Arthur cooks, which is cute. He puts his little food on the table. And then Theris comes and gets it. And our room is done. But obviously we have 2 gold. So we're not building anything in that room. Like, we want it to be a living room. We just can't afford any of the furniture that we need with our 2 gold. So, like I said, probably a mistake to build this room this early on, because I just do not have the money necessary to furnish this room up. Little bit of annoyance, but we ordered some more food, which is why we're able to get some food for the lovely Arthur as well. And then once everyone's got food, I get them on with their job, and they worked for a little bit. It was like overnight and into the next day, and then suddenly we get the next plot of the story, and a merchant arrives that we've never seen in the village before. Arthur sends Theris out, which is like, go boy, go see what that issue is while I'm in the mines. Makes sense, because he is down in a pit in the basement. But the merchant's not happy with that. He wants to speak to the boss. He didn't walk all this way just to speak to the apprentice. So he's a bit snooty. I don't like this merchant, gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't get given a choice to kind of refuse him. I think if it had been an option, I probably would have been like, do you know what, dude, we're good. Yeah, he seems very, very keen on working with us. And it just takes you through the little story that they've got together. Hey, you've come from a really far away. Why would I want to work with you? And then he's like, of course you want to work with me, because if you don't, the bandits are going to attack all your goods. And I'm like, first of all, I could have took an apprentice that had friends in the bandits. So if I'd have done that, did that mean I didn't have to deal with this? But also, like, why can you get through the bandits and I can't? Like, is he dodge? Is he a bandit? I don't really know. But, like, he's, like, very clear. Don't even think about refusing. Like, you are going to work with me. But then, interestingly enough, even when he's all like, hey, don't even think about it, he then, like, puts a challenge out to me. And he's like, even though I've told you, you cannot refuse me, and I am the only merchant you can work with who can get past the bandits, in order to prove that I want to work with you, you have to complete an order for me. Which is a little bit weird. It's like, hey, I am the best. I will survive all of this, but actually you need to prove yourself. Which, I don't know, it just feels a bit weird. Do you know what I mean? It feels a bit weird that he's, like, holding us over this barrel. And it is a bit annoying, because the things he wants take forever to complete. So he orders these 3 things, and because we then need, like, all the ore and everything else. Like, I could have refused it. You can see there is the option there to decline, but I kind of wanted to do it, so I said yes. So, yeah. You then come through, and to be honest, there's just a lot of them working out. So I close the shop so that no one else can put an order in. And it's just lots of mining, smelting, anviling. Like, it's fun. I enjoy it, but I don't think you guys necessarily need to see me do that for a while. So once we get the first kind of lot of orders through, and we had enough stuff in stock to do like the first bit, but as you can see, so they want 5 of something that's 3 and 5 of something that's 4, so we need like 20 just to do that. And also here I order some more food because I'm concerned about the food supplies. And yeah, then we skip through to this bit. We're doing well with the order, but guess who turns up? It's our old annoying merchant rival, who literally is here just to be like, hey dude, my dad died too. Like, it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. He turns up and he's like, hey, yeah, my dad's also dead. I'm not a junior anymore. Like, I don't think that's how it works. Like, when you're named after your dad, I don't think when your dad dies, you get rid of the junior bit. But apparently, that's how this guy thinks it works. And, like, Arthur's being all cool, like, why would you even come over here? Like, do you not getting enough work, mate? Because, like, you know, we're busy. Why would you bother walking all the way over here? And then he's all like, well, we don't actually need any competition. I don't think there needs to be 2 of us in this one little province, mate. I could handle all the work. He offers to buy him out. Arthur's like, mate, no, family business. I'm not selling out. I'm not doing it. Why we like Arthur so much. And yeah, then he's just like a bit of a dick. And then he's like, oh, we'll see how we compare at the fair, mate. And it's like, Arthur doesn't have time for fairs. He's busy. Look, he's working. He's got a bloody shop. And then he throws Olivia into the mix. Oh, she's looking quite fair, don't you know? Now, in my head, that means he's going after our girl, and I'm not happy about it. Like, this guy is going down because it's really annoyed me. Like, why would he throw her in there? And then reminding us we need to be rich in order to, you know, get away with Olivia. But yeah. Arthur's just, like, shuts him down. And then, I always like this as well. It's like, my work isn't going anywhere. I don't have the time to wander around and get up in people's business. Like, dude, if you're as busy as me, you wouldn't be over here giving me stick, would you? I clearly have more work than you. And then Arthur just goes back to sleep, which, again, respect. Respect to the Arthur for that. They get up, they finally finish this job. Oh, bit of a problem crops up. We can't actually pay our taxes to the French because we don't have 19 gold coins, so we have to refuse. So there are probably going to be consequences for that a little bit. A little bit worried about that, if I'm honest. But yeah, then we kind of just play it through. Lovely Arthur comes up in a minute for the mines, and then he's going to finish the order for the good old merchant dude. And then we kind of, like, that's where this bit of the story wraps up. We become friends with the merchant after completing... Well, are we saying friends? No. I don't want to say friends with the merchant. I feel like the merchant bullied us into it, and I don't think I'm happy about it, if I'm 100% honest. I feel like we kind of got held against our will into a deal with a guy that I'm pretty sure is a bandit, and I'm pretty sure is going to rob me. But I didn't really want to refuse him either, because what if he's, like, the only way I can learn certain skills? So he says his shop's at his disposal, which is good, because that means we can order from him. Arthur's trying to, like, hold him to his honesty, like, going, yeah, we're both going to get rich from this, right? Like, you're not just going to con me. And he's like, yeah, that's of course what I meant, dude. I don't know what you're stressing about. Again, don't trust the guy. Don't trust the guy at all. And then it pops up with this other little story bit that is basically based on fame or prestige. So the better we look, the better our forges, the better quality clients we're going to get, and the more money we're going to make. Probably less people, like, just lending money, because there's been quite a few people we've worked for free for, just because I'm that kind of nice, friendly village blacksmith. But basically it tells us that we want to upgrade things, and prestige you get from completing orders, but it always has a limit based on how good your house looks. So you have to upgrade your house in order to be able to upgrade your fame, and then because you can upgrade your fame, you can upgrade your stall, and then if you upgrade your store, you're going to get better clients. Little bit complicated, but basically it's all about how good your house looks to then do loads of orders. I thought because this has popped up as the next quest, it was going to be relatively easy, but actually when you look at it, you have to have 200 gold and 50 prestige, and we're sitting on 20. So we got some works to do, and also then to upgrade your house, which is this little tool here, you pop on the little fame thing, you do the paintbrushy thing, and it tells you like, oh yeah, if you choose the wooden roof, you get an extra 5 fame. That's great, but it costs 40 gold to do it. And then for some of them, it costs 65 gold, so it's going to be expensive. Like, we're going to need a lot of gold to do what we need to do, which is a little bit frustrating. So yeah, like I said, it's a more complicated element. Like, you've got to do so much just to get the fame to then upgrade your stall. But the good news is we did do a little bit, so our upper limit's now 23, so we can do some more orders, but then we couldn't afford any of the other upgrades. Not even like the other roof, because it wanted 40. So in the end, like, I just moved away from the idea after kind of clicking on everything because it does my nutting. But yeah, mostly all you could kind of do anyway was upgrade the floors, and they were all 65. So we left that alone. And then I reminded myself, right, okay, so this is what I need. 200 gold, 50 prestige. I'm so far away from that. And then I decided it was probably a good time to sort of like wrap this game up, since I was nowhere near where I needed to be. So I save in a second, I believe. Yeah, there you go. So you can save the game, or you can save and exit. So yeah, I save and exit, and then that's it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you next time.